Now, hey Clark, how's it going? All right, so it's Beatles time again, and I'm gonna risk. I'm gonna risk it. I'm gonna try a history card. I feel like I'm here to learn, and I'm not gonna let the history cards defeat me. So let's see what the and remember my strength, my only strength when it comes to Beatles trivia, and it's not even that strong, would be with the songs. So here we go. Let's see what we have on the history, and we can't get the whole thing. All right, so I'm sorry. With the card, you can only go. Okay, that's going to do it. So here we go. Here's how we start. So early '67 double LP and the Beatles promotional clips. Okay, so I know this right away. So this has got to be Strawberry Fields and Penny Lane, and they both had videos, and one of them was insane, and it always freaked me out as a kid. That was a Strawberry Fields one where they're running backwards and then in slow motion, and then we look into John's glasses like too close, and it's so psychedelic that it really freaked me out as a kid, which was a good lesson because it told me early on, uh, uh, don't do drugs like that. Anything that's going to freak me out, it's going to freak. So that a video freaked anybody out? That means stay away from LSD and other such things because they're not good. They just mess with your head, and that messed with my head. As like a 14 year old when I saw it, I'm like, well, what's going on here? And then like, what is it? Is it just? I always am. Is it like a strawberry jam that they pour on an organ when they're outside by a tree? I never knew what they were pouring on it. I always imagined it was some kind of because the name is Strawberry Field, so my mind just went to they must be pouring like marmalade or jam or some syrup on the piano and what or organ. What organ? Why would they do that? I'm thinking organ because of the Wurlitzer kind of feel that if not Strawberry Fields had, then like Mr. Kite certainly had because you have to look at Strawberry Fields and Penny Lane as part of Pepper, but it's right beforehand. It's the same ambience, if you will. All right, so what's the question again? Yeah, so the these were the two videos, and the Penny Lane one is more upbeat, but all they're doing is just like walking around. They're not walking around. They're riding horses. They're just bumping up and down, and then you hear the Bach trumpet, and you're on with your day. I have to go watch these videos again. I don't want to watch the Strawberry Fields one. I feel like I've seen that too many times. But there's nothing going on in the Penny Lane video. They're just walking around the neighborhood. Again, they're not walking. They're on the horsies. Maybe they go to a park. Do they go to the park and like have tea? I feel like they do that. All right. See, there's a horseback. Hey, how about that? Yeah, so that's Penny Lane. They're just on the horsies, and they're trotting around town. And I don't know if any of them look comfortable on the horsies. They're not big on the horsies here. I'm sure they're like, John, get on the horsey, and that's what was going on. So there they all. And I think they walk by like they're like Ringo's drums. They're all set up someplace, and they're like, here we are on the horsies. Walking past our concert setup stuff because we're not doing concerts anymore. So, here we go. That's right there. And you say goodbye. We're on the horsies. Because they're the four horsemen of the apocalypse, that comes later. That's next year. Okay, promotional film. Oh, in the promotional film for Strawberry Fields, what did the Beatles do to? Well, yeah, that gets back to the paint stuff that freaked me out, or the jam, or whatever it is. Well, maybe it is paint. I never thought that it would just be paint. I always thought they were putting. I like the idea that they're just pouring marmalade or some sugary substance on the piano. That makes more sense in my mind because that video makes no sense because it's an acid trip video, so that's how it is. All right, it's probably just red paint or something. What are Paul and George handed as they sit at a table in a field? Again, I don't think if I watched it once, I watched it once. But I remember my favorite Beatles documentary, which you can't get a hold of much anymore, was made in 1982. It was called The Complete Beatles. It had that the Clockwork Orange guy narrating it. What was his name? He was also in Star Trek Generations. I can't think of his name. It's not coming. Malcolm McDowell, right? Not Michael McDonald. That's a different thing altogether. Yeah. So I guess they go to a park. I'm going to stick with maybe they have some tea in the park because they're enjoying their day on the Penny Lane. When you just come off the Horsies and you want to have a picnic, maybe they just had a picnic. All right. This park was 20 miles from London, where scenes for the promo films were. Yeah. I don't think Strawberry Fields was the name of the park itself. That was just so. I'm out on this one. I'm on this hard pass. Nothing is coming to mind. It's out of my area. Okay. And I have no idea who must have directed these. Don't know. Also out of my area. I know it's not Richard Lester. I think these little videos might be beneath him. But that just reminds me of how great Hard Day's Night is and Help Is Not. But that's another card, I'm sure. So, hey, I was just about to shut down this video, but I remembered that we have answers on the back. Let's see how we did. All right, so it's Strawberry and Penny Lane, and then Penny Lane was the again the video where they're on the horsies. All right, on the horseback, and then we have the Beatles pour and brush brightly colored paint onto a piano. So it is paint. That's a disappointment. I don't remember the brushing. I remember the pouring. And I'm like, what are they doing? It's like a dreamscape like video where nothing makes sense, you know. Their instruments. Sorry. Oh, George and Paul were not handed tea as they sit at a table. They are handed their instruments. All right. And the next one's like, who's the director? Or, the park. So it's Knole Park in Seven Oaks in Kent. And then Peter Goldman. Don't know. I'll put a wiki link there. And hey, I got like 2 or 3 wrong, but I feel a lot better with the history card this time. So there it is, even if I scored like 50%. I don't pay attention to the ones I get right. I'm just here to learn. So maybe you're keeping track at home. Right, Clark? All right. Clark, you're the only one watching by this point. It's just, I hope things are going well in your part of the world. And let us continue at another time. Yeah, okay.